Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol. Brought to you by the Checkerboard Super Cereals, Wheat Chex, Rice Chex, and Good Hot Ralston.
Stand by for exciting action on Space Patrol in just one moment.
Hi, gang. Commander Corey reporting from the experimental lab. Ever see a portable power generator? Here's one. To generate power, it needs fuel, so let's put some in. Press the control button and see what happens. Sounds pretty weak, doesn't it? Could be the fuel I used. So this time, let's try super fuel. Listen to that power now. Supercharging does it. And gang, when you roll out of bed in the mornings, you're like a generator, too. You need fuel. Haven't had any for about 12 hours. But listen, don't settle for ordinary fuel. Get supercharged like I do with a good breakfast. Eat the super cereals and the checkerboard packages. And now, come in, Jack Nars.
Hi, gang. Here are two of the super checkerboard cereals. Bite-sized Rice Chex and Wheat Chex. Yes, modern bite-sized design for super easy eating. No wonder Space Patrollers get a charge out of Chex. This is Rice Chex, bite-sized shredded rice, triple toasted. And here's Wheat Chex, bite-sized shredded wheat, baked crisper than a cracker. Super power in every bite. Remember, gang, pulling up to your breakfast table is just like pulling into a filling station. So get supercharged like your commander said. Pick up your cereal bowl and say,
"Fill her up, Mom. Wheat Chex. Fill her up, Mom. Rice Chex."
in a rugged mountainous section of Mars, a few miles from the capital city of Canali, stands an ancient building of another era. From the outside, it seems a dark, deserted, castle-like structure, haunted by shadows of the past. But on the inside, working in a fully equipped laboratory, an old man dedicates his talents to the good of humanity.
I'm sorry, Professor.
So am I. Marshal Crane built this laboratory for the good of humanity. He hired me to break down the sun's rays, to isolate beneficial elements. And all I've come across is this ray that destroys things like this.
We can try again.
Yes, I suppose we can. It's just that If I don't have some success soon, or if I don't come up with something better than this deadly iota ray, what's Marshal Crane going to say?
I wouldn't worry about that, Professor.
Oh, Marshal Crane, I didn't know you were here.
I wasn't, really. Still having trouble with the iota ray.
Yes, I can't seem to isolate it.
I was just wondering, Professor.
Yes?
What effect would this...
Careful.
Well, what effect would this ray have on a person?
It'll have the same effect as it had on that plant that was sitting over there.
Well, did you use a full charge?
No, just a slight charge. I was only testing it.
Well, according to our calculations, with the full force of the sun focused behind it, it could go right through that wall and out into space.
Into space? Then its effect, as I understand it, could go from one planet to another.
It could destroy large cities at that rate.
Well, that's just it, Marshal. You see, the professor's been terribly depressed because all of his work results in the further development of the destructive qualities of the ray.
Oh, the iota ray could become a treacherous weapon in the wrong hands.
The wrong hands, Professor? That depends on how you look at it.
Well, what are you driving at, Marshal?
Don't you know?
You, a respected member of the United Planet Security Council? What would you want with a weapon like that?
I'm afraid you wouldn't understand, Professor.
But, Marshal, what of your plans to develop beneficial rays?
I'll destroy it.
No, you won't. Don't fight me, Professor. You have a share in my plan.
I'll have no part of treason.
Treason will be any act against me when I'm the government, Professor. You better think of that.
No, I'll destroy it first.
I've just been thinking of what you were saying, Marshal.
Yes?
I can show you how to operate the machine. After all, I wasn't Professor Kress's laboratory assistant for nothing.
Well, you're a smart girl, Rita. I knew I could depend on you. I'll make it worth your while.
What about him? What are you going to do with him?
Well, for now, I'll put him where he can't cause any trouble. And then we'll get sent to bargain with the Security Council on our own terms.
Finale, Mars. Calling Space Patrol Headquarters, Terra. Finale, Mars. Calling Space Patrol Headquarters, Terra.
How long before we land on Terra, Commander?
Have you forgotten? We have a student astrogator on this trip.
Oh, that's right. And what's your studied opinion, Cadet?
In exactly 49 minutes and 32 seconds, we'll be landing on Terra.
Good. We'll have time to eat before we land.
Did you say eat?
Mm-hmm.
Space Patrol Headquarters, Terra. Terra calling Commander Corey aboard Terra 5.
Corey here, go ahead.
Commander, we have a call coming in from Mars. It sounds urgent.
Who is it?
Says her name is Rita Covan. She insists on talking to you at once.
I'll take it. Put the call through relay, please.
One moment, sir.
Rita Covan. I never heard of her. I wonder what she was.
You may go ahead.
Commander Corey?
Speaking, go ahead.
Commander, please listen carefully. There isn't much time.
What's the trouble?
My name is Rita Covan. I'm a laboratory assistant to Professor Kress. He's the chief scientist in Marshal Crane's private experimental laboratory.
Marshal Crane, Security Council representative from Mars?
Yes, Commander, but he's plotting treason against the United Planets.
Treason?
It's true. He's just made Professor Kress prisoner and he attacked him. You see, we've accidentally discovered a deadly ray, the iota ray, and Marshal Crane is planning on using it to bargain with the United Planets.
Treason is a serious charge, Miss Covan. Are you absolutely sure?
Absolutely sure, Commander. Oh, you must believe me. You've got to stop
We're changing course for Mars now. Be there about 2000.
It's the old mansion outside Canali.
Yes, I know the place. Why, Miss Cavan, don't mention this to anyone. We'll make it look like we were on Mars and just dropping in for a social call.
Yes, Commander, but... Oh, but please hurry.
We're on full rockets. Corey out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Happy, get on the astroscope.
Yes.
Get a reading on Mars.
Yes, sir. Correct elevation, 2 degrees high, sir.
Correct, 2 degrees high. Check.
Check, sir.
You'll do exactly as I tell you. Do you understand?
Yes.
I still can't understand Marshal Crane planning treason.
Smoking rocket, you'd think he'd be content to be a high-ranking member of the Security Council.
Yeah. Well, we won't need that, Happy. If Marshal Crane is up to something, we'll have a better chance of finding out what it is if we're not armed. No, we're coming in close. We'll land with a repel array. No sense in tipping him off.
Yeah, we might try to hide the evidence.
If there is any evidence.
When we land, you stay in the ship, Tonga. Happen, I'll contact Rita. Stand by repel array.
Standing by, sir.
Hit it.
Commander Corey,
Yes.
I'm Rita Coban.
This is my cadet, Happy.
How do you do, ma'am?
I was so ashamed, Commander,
Ashamed?
that I could have been so wrong about Marshal Crane. It was all a mistake.
Mistake? What about Professor Kress?
Professor Cress. Yes, well, you see, the professor had made a trip into Canali. I didn't know about it. When I couldn't find him, I just assumed that something had happened to him. He never goes anywhere without telling me, you see.
Yes, I see.
Can you ever forgive me, Commander, for having made you make this trip for nothing?
Certainly, Miss Cavan. We're glad that your suspicions are unfounded.
Yeah, the commander was just saying that he hated to think a trusted member of the Security Council could be guilty of treason.
Commander, if you were to leave now, Marshal would never even know that you'd stopped. I'm sure he didn't hear you land, and it would save me a lot of embarrassment.
I understand. Let's go, Happy.
Yes, sir.
Goodbye, Miss Cavan.
Commander! Thank you.
Well, you feel very happy, Rita.
managed to save their lives. Don't be so anxious to end this existence, Rita. You've work to do.
Look at him go. See what he did. Here comes the winner, a checkerboard kid. He's got what it takes. He's supercharged.
Supercharged, that's me. I start each day the checkerboard way. Checkerboard, yes sirree.
And here they are, the checkerboard super cereals, rice checks, wheat checks, and good hot Ralston. Hiya, gang. Want to see how a good checkerboard breakfast can supercharge you? Look, wham! Sock that ball and zoom off like a rip-roaring rocket. Swish! Keep that jumping rope whirling like an airplane propeller. So come on, Space Patrollers, get supercharged with good hot Ralston. Helps put glow and go in your rocket tubes and tunes up your thinking machine. Hot Ralston, the one and only official hot cereal of the Space Patrol. And hey, gang, what a supercharge you get out of a good Chex breakfast. The bite-sized checkerboard cereals with the taste-tingling, bell-jingling flavor. Rice Chex, wheat Chex, the only official ready-to-eat cereals of the Space Patrol. Get the checkerboard super cereals today, rice Chex and wheat Chex, and to warm up your motor, good hot Ralston.
For a good morning, a good morning, you gotta check out with checkerboard. Checkerboard cereal, super good.
Make you feel super, super good.
So check out with checkerboard, and a good morning to you.
Good morning.
And now back to Space Patrol.
Tell me what's going on pretty soon.
I didn't have time to, Tonga. The commander told me to get back to the ship as soon as possible and blast off, so I did.
But why? You were both going to meet the girl.
Well, we did, but when we got there, she gave us some phony story about being mistaken, and it didn't match the first story at all.
What do you mean?
Well, when she called the commander, she said that the professor had been attacked by the marshal, remember?
Oh, go on.
Well, when we got there, she said the professor had gone to Canale, and she just assumed that something was wrong.
And you don't assume a person was attacked on flimsy evidence like that.
Well, that's for sure.
I wonder what made her change her mind.
Marshal Crane, who else? Anyway, that's what the commander thought. So he ducked down behind some rocks and told me to blast off so they'd think we both left.
And he's down there all alone.
Don't worry about the commander. He can take care of himself.
Space Patrol. And after I get the beam focused on the target, what do I do? Tell me.
No.
Tell me, what do I do?
Just throw the switch, that's all. Just throw the switch.
Well, now we'll see if you've given me the proper information.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to enlist the services of Professor Kress.
Professor Kress?
Yes, I'm sure you'll be delighted to assist me in my first experiment.
But I've already shown you how to work the machine. What more do you want?
I need a target, Rita. A human target.
Why do you keep looking at your watch?
Because the commander said he'd call me exactly 30 minutes after I left him.
Well?
been 35 minutes already.
I'm sorry, Commander Corey. I didn't expect
forget it, Professor. Forget it. At least I found you. Now I know what to expect.
Yeah.
Seems that's the only window.
Yes, it is. It's so high I couldn't reach it.
Not even with those packing cases?
Oh, they've got heavy equipment bolted inside. They weigh a ton.
Well, I can boost you up.
Well, then how'll you get out?
I'm not ready to leave just yet.
Oh, well, then I'll stay with you.
No, I'd rather you left.
Huh?
Look, my ship should be landing very soon. Look, hide outside. When you see the ship, go aboard. I'll call my cadet.
All right, if you think that's best, Commander.
Put your foot in my hand.
All right.
Freeze, Corey.
One wrong move and the old man gets it.
This time, I'm not going to leave this behind.
And that's not all. You're not leaving me behind either. Not this time.
Okay, let's go.
Pretty clever, Corey, staying behind when your ship blasted off. Well, you're just in time for the big show. My friend Rita has been showing me how to operate a very unusual machine.
Rita, you didn't.
I'm sorry, Professor. He forced me.
You're inhuman. I got...
Hold it, Corey. Put him on the table, Corey.
Oh, but that's where the ray goes. Oh.
Stay right where we are, Corey.
Rocket's talking. There's no sign of anybody.
I don't like it, Happy. It's too quiet.
This way.
There, I know what you're going to do. You're going to use the ray on all of us. No! Please,
All right, Mr. Marshall. Freeze. Reach.
I imagine you have a gun on me, Cadet.
Correction. We have 2 guns on you. And if you don't drop Miss Covan, we're going to drop you.
I suggest instead that you drop your guns. If you shoot me, I'll pull this trigger with my last act, and you know what it'll do at this close range.
Who are you trying to kid? You couldn't pull that trigger if you were paralyzed.
Reflex action might do it, Hap. Be careful.
Drop your guns. Both of you. All right. Now get around here. Come on. Let's go. Now we widen the beam a little bit to include all of you.
No!
Well, let that be a lesson to all of you. Now either you stand there and take it, or I shoot you first and then give you the iota ray. Either way, you lose. I just had a thought, Crane. It's your last thought, Corey. If I move to the side, I'll be out of range, won't I? Don't be a fool, Corey. I told you what I'd do. I said I'd shoot first. You have to turn around and get your gun.
Get the professor out of there!
Rockets, Commander. That was close. Kept waiting for him to make a wrong move. Thought he never would.
I'm glad he made the move. I was afraid to.
How are they, Tommy?
We can take him to Medical Science Center in plenty of time to counteract the charge.
Good. What about this thing, Commander? What is it? How does it work?
Well, according to Professor Kress, it breaks down and stores radiation from the sun and focuses it into a beam.
Well, you know, all this trouble from just a little sunbeam.
A deadly sunbeam, Happy. Now, our only problem is how to destroy it.
Yeah, but how?
There's your answer, Happy. Like most evil things, it destroyed itself.
Stand by for a preview of next week's exciting action, immediately following this important message for all you space patrollers. Say, gang, do you know what one spoon said to the other spoon? It said, "What's the matter with you anyhow? You look so unhappy." "I am," said the other. "I'm not much use these days. The boy at my house has a cereal he doesn't like. 2 spoonfuls and he puts me down." "Hey," the other spoon said, "he ought to try good, hot Ralston. I'm busy all the time."
That's right, gang. That's the kind of spoon I have. Good hot Ralston keeps my spoon busy till it hits the bottom of the bowl. Good hot Ralston, instant or regular. And boy, oh boy, gang, a Space Patrol breakfast, one of these super cereals, and that's it. You're supercharged.
Now here's a scene from next week's dangerous adventure, The Conspiracy.
Commander, you mean you think the 2 professors who stole the secret papers are... You think they've rendezvoused down there underwater?
Why not? Can you think of a better place to hide?
Well, sir, now that I think of it, Commander, what's that?
Pat, look out! To donate blood, you have to be at least 18 years of age. But to be a Space Patrol blood booster, age doesn't matter. I need all of you, and all of you can join. Our job is to get more people to donate blood to the Red Cross. It's a swell way to help your country. You have a lot of fun, too. So how about it? Join the Space Patrol blood boosters today.
Be sure to hear Space Patrol on ABC Radio every Saturday. Consult your newspaper for time and station. And be sure to join us again when Space Patrol is brought to you on television, too. Buy those bite-sized cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages. Wheat Chex, Rice Chex, and good hot Ralston.
The preceding program, originally telecast by ABC in Hollywood, has come to you by special video recording. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.